Jungle Book, page 12. Some of what Shere Khan says is true, Father Wolf said. We must show the cub to the pack. Do you still want to keep him? He came naked at night, alone and very hungry, Mother Wolf said. But he was not afraid. Shere Khan would have killed him, then run off while the villagers hunted our cubs in revenge. Keep him? Of course I will keep him. Lie still, little frog. Mowgli the frog. That's what I'll call you. The day will come when you will hunt Shere Khan, as he has hunted you. But what will our pack say? Father Wolf asked. The law of the jungle says that every wolf must bring his cubs before the pack council as soon as they are old enough to stand. They are brought so that the other wolves can identify them, and once they have been inspected, the cubs are allowed to run free. No grown wolf is allowed to harm a cub until he has killed his first buck. On the next full moon, Father Wolf, his cubs, Mowgli, and Mother Wolf went to the council rock. The strong and clever pack leader, Akela, lay full length on one of the 100 rocks covering the hill. Below him sat 40 more wolves of every size and color. There was very little talking at the rock. Cubs tumbled over one another inside the circle, made up of their mothers and fathers. Now and then a senior wolf would quietly go up to a cub, look at him carefully, and then return to his spot on noiseless feet. Sometimes a mother would push her cub into the moonlight to make sure he had not been overlooked. From his rock, Akela called out, "You know the law. Look well, O wolves." The anxious mothers took up the call, Look well, O wolves." At last, Father Wolf pushed Mowgli into the center, where he laughed and played with some pebbles and glistened in the moonlight. That glistened in the moonlight. Akela did not raise his head from his paws, but continued to cry, "Look well!" A muffled roar came from behind the rocks. "Shere Khan, the cub is mine," he called. "Give him to me." "What does the wolf pack want with a man cub?" Akela did not even twitch his ears. He simply said, "Look well, O wolves. The pack does not take orders from anyone save ourselves. Look well." There was a chorus of deep growls. A 4-year-old wolf repeated Shere Khan's question. "What does the pack want with a man cub?" According to the law of the jungle, a cub in question will be accepted into the pack if he is spoken for by at least 2 pack members who are not his mother or father. "Who speaks for this cub?" Akela asked. There was no answer. Mother Wolf got ready for a fight, if it came to that. Then the only other creature allowed at the pack council, Baloo, the sleepy brown bear who teaches the cubs the law of the jungle, rose up on his hindquarters and grunted. "The man cub," he said. "I'll speak for him. There is no harm in a man cub. Let him run with the pack and be accepted with the others. I myself will teach him." "We need one more," Akela said. "Baloo has spoken, and he is our cub's teacher." "Who besides Baloo?" A black shadow dropped down into the circle. It was inky black Bagheera, the panther. Everybody knew Bagheera, and nobody dared cross him. Bagheera was as clever as Tabaki, as bold as water buffalo, and as reckless as a wounded elephant. But he had a voice as sweet as wild honey, dripping from a tree, and skin softer than down. "Akela and the wolves," he purred. "I have no right at your council, but the law of the jungle says if there is a cub in question, that cub may be bought for a price, and the law does not say who may or may not pay that price. Am I correct?" "Yes," said the young wolves, for they were always hungry and hoped Bagheera would offer food. "Speak." "It would be a shame to kill a naked cub. Besides, he will make better sport when he is grown. To Baloo's word, I add one water buffalo, a fat one, newly killed, not half a mile from here. Will you accept the man cub according to the law?" Many wolves spoke at once. "What does it matter? He will die in the winter rains. He will burn in the sun. How can a naked frog hurt us? Let him run with the pack." "Where is the buffalo, Bagheera?" And then came Akela's cry. Look well, oh wolves." Mowgli was still engrossed in the pebbles. He did not even notice as the wolves looked him over one by one and then padded softly down the hill toward the dead buffalo. Soon only Akela, Bagheera, Baloo, and Mowgli's own wolf family were left. Shere Khan roared angrily in the distance. "Roar well," Bagheera said under his whiskers. "A time will come when this cub will make you roar another tune. Shere Khan or I know nothing of men." "Well done," Akela said. "Men and their cubs are wise. We may be a help in time." Akela was thinking of the time that comes to every pack leader when his strength leaves him, and he gets feebler and feebler until at last he is killed and a new leader emerges. "Take him away," Akela said to Father Wolf. "Train him as one of us." Over the next 10 or 11 years, Mowgli had many wonderful adventures among the wolves. He grew up with the cubs, though they were grown wolves. Before he was even a child. Father Wolf and Baloo the bear taught him all the things to know in the jungle. When Mowgli was not learning, he sat in the sun and slept and ate and slept again. When he felt hot or dirty, he swam in the forest pools. And when he wanted honey, Baloo taught him that honey and nuts were as good to eat as meat. He climbed up and got it. Mowgli was very good at climbing anywhere, thanks to Bagheera. When Mowgli was still very small, Bagheera would lie out on a branch and call, "Come along, little brother." At first, Mowgli would cling to a vine and crawl slowly along, But soon he would fling himself through the branches of the jungle as boldly as an ape. When the pack met, Mowgli took his place at Council Rock. He discovered that if he stared hard at any wolf, the wolf would be forced to drop his eyes. In this way, Mowgli would easily win any argument. But sometimes he would stare just for fun. He would also pick long, painful thorns out of the paws of his wolf friends. The members of the pack were grateful for Mowgli's nimble fingers, and Mowgli considered himself to be one of them. At night, Mowgli would go down the hillside into the farmlands and look at the villagers in their huts. He was curious about men, but he did not trust them. Bagheera had shown him a trap made by men, so well hidden in the jungle that Mowgli had nearly walked into it. There was nothing Mowgli liked better than to spend the day with Bagheera in the warm, dark heart of the forest. They would sleep all the drowsy day, and at night Mowgli would watch Bagheera do his hunting. Bagheera hunted easily whenever he felt hungry, and so did Mowgli, with one exception. As soon as Mowgli was old enough to understand, Bagheera had told him he must never harm water buffalo because he had been accepted into the pack for the price of a buffalo's life. All the jungle is yours, Bagheera said, but for the sake of that bull, you must never kill or eat water buffalo. That is the law of the jungle. Mowgli obeyed the rule faithfully. Okay, we're going to stop there. Page 20.